Typically, a cultural resources training will be required when you are working in an environmentally sensitive area or when cultural resources are known to be nearby. The training is generally a permit requirement and needs to be documented to ensure that everyone on site understands their roles and responsibilities. The legal foundation in this area is generally to ensure compliance with the California Environmental Quality Act and its implementing regulations, which is where we find the definitions establishing what is legally important as a cultural resource. A resource needs to meet one of the criteria shown, and as with most things, context is really important. Because context is critical, it's important that if something is found, it doesn't get moved from a location of discovery. We call this leaving it in situ. Native American sites vary a lot, but in Northern California, they typically are marked by the presence of flagstone tools, fire-cracked rock, locally darkened soil, shellfish remains, groundstone tools like mortars or pestles, and dietary bone. Many tribes prefer that no pictures are taken of artifacts, so we won't be showing those. In some cases, human remains will be present. There is a specific, state-mandated protocol that must be followed if any remains that are suspected of being human are discovered. Native American sites are significant under the fourth criterion above, data potential, although sometimes they are found important for their association with people or events. Historical archaeological sites will often have bottles, ceramics, building remains like bricks and nails, or dumps containing all of those. These images show an historical deposit nicked by a trench. The red line in the right-hand photo highlights that the soil of the site on the left is darker and very different from the native soil. The image on the left shows bottles, metal, and ceramics in the trench wall. Like Native American sites, historical sites are significant for their data potential as well as association with people or events. Buildings, structures, or objects are things that shouldn't be of major concern on construction projects unless they're near the job site. Buildings are pretty obvious, but structures include things like corrals and bridges and are often important for association with events like ranching, farming, the Cold War, or immigration. Objects are a bit different and can include things like street lights, benches, and public artworks. As an example, the picture on the left shows a fountain created by Ruth Asawa. It's considered important under the third criterion because she was a major artist of the 20th century, but also because she was interned during World War II, which affected her approach to art and how she presented it to the public. These are associations with events and people. The steps listed here should be followed in the case of a discovery. Each project will have specific requirements for how large of an area needs to be avoided when something is found. 25 to 50 feet is common. Communicating is key to making sure the project can continue with as little disruption as possible. While archaeologists and Native Americans often work together, our goals and priorities are very different. So there are things the archaeologist might not be concerned with that the tribal representative will. The opposite is also true. The archaeologist may well get excited about something that the tribal representative doesn't care about at all. So be sure both groups are informed before proceeding. If there is not an archaeologist on site, contact our office. While we might not be able to send the person who has been working with you day to day, we will get someone on site as soon as we can.